for men, when you meet somebody and you feel good, that's it. You might have experienced a lot of chaos with dating and life in general, and then you meet this person who's just a spark, and you feel okay, you feel so settled, and that's how you know this is the right person for me.
I'm not much of a reader, but when yours come out, I'm going to make a point.
Oh my God.
Because I need to see, the progress from Ndoto ya Ajabu.
The first ancient composition I wrote, the first one was Write Andika Ndoto ya Ajabu. So for me, I got 38 out of 40 as the teacher called. It was like, I know this. This is scary. I'm on the movie, umeona.
Hey guys, and welcome back to A Letter to My Younger Self, a podcast where we explore the power of life lessons by having our guests write letters to their younger self. Today's guest is Kuria. He is a writer as well as a co-founder of BNM Safezone, an organization that was so kind to offer a few of our listeners 3 months worth of free therapy. Welcome to the podcast, Moses.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
How are you feeling today?
I'm great. It's the first time I'm on a podcast. I left radio.
Yeah.
It's weird being on this side. on this side. But it's really refreshing to be on this side.
On the other side. Okay, so like I said, I know you from BNM Safezone, but I'll allow you to introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Kuria.
Mm-hmm.
I am a writer, a creative. That said, I've been on radio for 5 years. I also now work in psychology. I'm the co-founder of BNM Safezone. We have also another therapy farm and an NGO that we run. All those are just things I do. Above everything else, I'm also a husband, so that matters to me. That I don't know how to describe myself.
Yeah.
I'm used to being on radio and saying, "Welcome to the show. My name is Mona. Let us go."
Period. So I've received a lot of letters. We're like season 5 right now, and I never know what to expect. Each letter is always so different. And I have to admit, when I was reading yours, I did go at some point in the letter, but just to let everyone else alongside with me, I think we can start by having you read your letter to us.
So, dear little Moses, I wanted to take a minute to connect with you, and I hope some warmth and reassurance can reach through. I know right now you're having to carry some really big stuff. Imagine being an 8-year-old, the diagnosis of a rheumatic fever, its requirement being injections every single month. You feel quite thrown into this overly complicated world. It's okay to be scared and frustrated with all this. The good news is that this challenge is not here to stay. Those injections are going to end, and you're going to come out not surviving, but thriving. Although it feels like you're growing up too fast, in reality, with the flow of time, it'll prove to be a great gift. It'll give you perspective and depth, which most of your contemporaries will grow into only later in life. You'll meet a fine girl who will turn out to be the missing jigsaw puzzle piece in your life. You'll marry her. Then both of you will build a life full of love and happiness. So keep holding on to the hope of your journey. You're never alone. And all of this is working you into such an amazing person. The road ahead will be full of happiness and love. Stars shine quite brightly above you all the way from my heart, Moses.
So you start off your letter by reassuring 8-year-old Moses.
Yeah.
Why was that so important for you?
Because that period of my life is what almost completely changed everything. Anybody who's gone through a medical diagnosis, whether at old age or at 25, 30, 45, that changes how you see life, how you move, how you manage yourself. And so that for me was everything. It's what turned my life, just completely. And that began a journey of now not just taking care of myself, but also being taken care of in a different way, because I have siblings, and I'm always like, I was the special one because I needed more attention. I needed to be in the hospital every month on injection, like 18, 17. So that was a significant part of my life. I had that more significant point, but that was the more significant.
Yeah. Let's go a bit back to your childhood.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like? How many kids were you? Where did you grow up? How was your upbringing like?
Okay, so I have two siblings. The last one, Mamini. I wasn't born in Nairobi. I was born in Rift Valley. Grew up there for some time and then moved to Nairobi. And my dad had also advanced with his work. So our childhood was, I would say, was rocked by just different little misfortune, including that condition. Because where we were living was a bit cold. So that might have played a factor in me getting a bit sick when I was a child. Also, I had my right hand almost burnt out completely. Um, Nobody knows. There's only like one or two people who know the truth of what happened. So
Well, what actually happened? What's the truth?
who knows? As I've said, there's only one or two people who I don't know if they're still alive or whatever. But
Oh, you were younger.
yeah, I was like months over here also. I think somebody was holding me. My mom was outside, and then allegedly fell into the I don't know what was cooking something. So what ended? I think the boiling rice, and then I fell into it, and so
Inside the like Kuria. Oh, it
I
was
think
like that.
thank God I didn't fall like to the whole because in a tiny and then there's freeze big you can fall only.
Right.
So it seems like my right hand was the only thing that fell in. So that's the story that I know. That's the story that my mom knows. I always say, who knows? Nobody knows.
Yeah.
If it was malice, if it was just an accident. But I'm fine with it. That also I think played parts. I've also had a bit of challenges with schooling, but that's how my childhood was until now when I started having those symptoms like headaches. I would get tired. I was always jovial and trying to be a normal kid, but I wouldn't participate in games. Remember those games like everybody's running around PE?
Yeah.
I would try, but I wouldn't do it. And funny thing, I was like one of the fastest runners in school. Like I was fast. I would be like Omanyala today. But the thing is, I would run so fast, but wouldn't make it to the end because I would get tired, I'd get a lot of headaches and migraines. So I would be taken to hospitals for tests, this and that. So eventually they did the test. I was like, okay, there's something you're seeing. It's not headaches. It's how the heart is responding to what's happening there. So that was my childhood, and then grew up in the barracks. Dad was working in the forces, so in the Air Force. So I moved into this community where it's just, I don't know, it was very weird. It's a very enclosed community of people in uniform, schooling there. It's a very unique experience that's kind of shaped also who I am today. That was my childhood, and then finished that. The experiences were nice, but one significant thing was the medication that I was in because every month I needed to go to the house, and I wasn't sick. I wasn't feeling any symptoms since the diagnosis. I wasn't sick. So I remember my dad would come to school. I was like in like class 5, 6. Then he would pick me from school. So in the middle of the class, the teacher would like stop the class and say, "Hey, Modus, the dad is here." So I leave, everybody's looking at me like, why is this guy going every month? And then I don't show up to class for the next 4 days because the injection was too heavy. I couldn't walk. It's one of the most painful injection anybody has ever taken. I think it's also been classified as one. So I would leave class on Monday afternoon, then show up later on Friday. That happened every month for me. So I would meet like 3, 4 days of class for a week. So that was my childhood, just growing up and seeing how life was.
Yeah. So you got diagnosed at 8 years old.
Yeah. I still remember that day. It was 13th of February. I still get to 13th and I'm like, Jesus, I made it.
Yeah. It's rheumatic fever. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so rheumatic fever, not rheumatic heart disease. What causes rheumatic heart disease? So basically, if you search around, it's like there's inflammation in your artery, something like that. So it's like they can't do surgery on it because it's not like a lump or a tumor, and there's inflammation. So what happens is that they give you medication that's going to manage it, and then it so that doesn't get what it then becomes something horrible. So if they're able to manage the fever, then they're able to manage you well. So the people who, this is a funny thing. I met somebody who had the same symptoms, and they've been given injections for 6 months or a year. And then they told me, the doctor said, wow, like this is crazy. You need to get this for a whole year. And I was like, Jesus, like, am I dead or something? It did 10 years. It did 10 years. Like, I should be dead by now. But that harmed you. It's what causes rheumatic heart disease, which can be lethal sometimes. But rheumatic fever is also lethal if you need injections for 10 years. But the good thing is, once you're cleared, usually like done, if you come out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you said like in the beginning you had like the headaches and you were getting tired. So that's what led you going to hospital getting checked.
Yes.
So how was it like, when you guys got the diagnosis?
Well, I have to interview my mom and dad for this because for me, it was okay. Like I've had headache, I've had migraine. Like I'm 7 years old
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like growing up too fast. Like I've been put on those machines and stuff, and I'm missing school because I need to be getting tested. So my head was completely out of school at that time. I should be in like class 3, playing around with kids, but at the time I missed the whole exam period. I did the exam after because I was being tested and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more of, okay, at least they know what the thing is. But oh my God, what is this now? The doctor is like, until you're 18. I'm like, I'm just turning 8. So
Yeah.
like I'll be out of high school by then, you're telling me. And then it's every month. So I thought maybe it would be, something I would manage and then I got the first injection at that same hospital, that same day, that same moment.
Mhm.
And it was like the worst thing ever. I couldn't move after that. And then I said, oh my God, like, how do I do this for 10
For
years?
10 years.
Yeah.
God, I can actually like just imagine feeling an 8-year-old that. How did it affect like your outlook on life? How you saw life at that time?
Funny thing, I was always optimistic. The thing is, it never bothered me. Like, that's a good thing about a child. A child could even have cancer, like at stage 4, but they're still a child. The one who suffers more is the parents because you look at them, you're like, oh my God, what's going to happen to my child?
Yeah.
So for a child, it's a bit 70-30. There's 30% of a bit of worry, but the 70% is you still being a child. So for me, I kept on being a child, even though my mind I was maturing up too fast because when it gets to 13th of every month, I know that anytime mom's going to tell me, let's go to the hospital. If I'm in school, anytime dad's going to show up, it got to a point that I was the one reminding them that we need to go.
Time.
Yeah, time. Like, because I knew if I need to do this, if I'm not going to die, I have to just do this. So, and then God gave me the grace to just show up for them. I never missed any of the injections on the child. Those times when my parents were busy and they forgot. So I'd be like, Dad, 13, let's not get to 14, let's not get to 15. Like, I'm going to suffer, but let's just do it. I saw it as the only way I could survive.
Yeah.
And not die or something like that. So it shaped how I saw the world. I didn't see other kids as kids. I saw myself as a 50-year-old in a because I was bombarded with so much. So it kind of isolated me with friendships and stuff when I was a child because it's like they don't understand
What's going on?
when I'm leaving class.
Yeah.
Like you just kids, you're playing. They don't understand when I'm leaving class to go to the hospital and show up for because nobody knew it. Even the class teacher didn't know as much. So like even the class teacher is a baby to me, even though I'm a baby to them.
Yeah.
Because you don't get it. Like you just don't get it. Yeah.
And when you think through like the 10 years,
Yeah.
what would you say were some of like the most difficult moments or days and what got you through them?
I've had difficult days in those 10 years. I think the first one was when so the injection is anybody who's gone through it knows it's not like liquid. It's powdered and mixed with liquid. So it's like porridge type of injection. And it doesn't go through your body as easy as you might think. It needs like a special care. So it's like you mix liquid and then there's porridge, with the unga, something like that. So you mix, becomes mixture and then they inject. So most of the time, when the nurses would inject me, it wouldn't go through my body because it's so thick. And I have to try again like 3-4 times. So it was tough because I got this fear of needles because they try one, it's not the second one. And I'm just sitting there like, Jesus, can I do it myself? Like the first one, the second one. Until there was this doctor, I remember his name was Mwanzia. So when we were in the barracks at the forces, so it was like a specialist in it. So he injected me so many times that he knew how to do it. So he would just do it so swiftly, and it was painful. It was really painful. So one of the hardest times was, I remember when there was time he took a leave. Then I walked to the hospital with my dad. Like, he's not there. And he was so kind to me. He like understood what I was going through. And there's this dude who took me in. It's like he was young. Man, he was a bit older, like maybe in his 40s. So this guy is a nurse in the forces. He's young, vibrant, and he looks like he's just going to kill this day. So he tries to inject me. The first time it doesn't work. Second time it doesn't work. Third time it doesn't work. Fourth time it doesn't
Oh
work.
no.
Fifth time it doesn't work. So it got so hard that I told, like, my dad was like, "Can we call one again? Just me go in. Like, you need to know how to do it."
Yeah.
So he injected me. Like, they were injecting me on like on one side. So it was like, can we do it on both sides so that you can walk? So he tried on both sides, wasn't working. So that was such a hard experience that it made me almost give up on the injections. But still, I had the hope that the other guy would come later. The other hard experience I've had is when I joined high school. So in high school, so the injection is not available in all hospital. So my dad would buy the powder. So if I'm going to, you remember high school was like 3 months, so I had like 3 for that term, and then I would go to the clinic. So, but then, typical Kenyan high school, they do like inspections when you come into school, and you drugs, stuff like that. So the teachers would open your bag. So I had this teacher was like, "Kijana, are you carrying cocaine?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, I felt like I could punch that teacher in the face, but I still felt like, just don't get it.
Yeah.
But I just stood there. I looked at him straight to his face. And then he just was like, "Okay, I'm sorry." He looked at it, was like, "Okay, it seems to be something. It's not cocaine." Because it looks like it looks like a drug. So that was a hard experience for me. The third one was when I was doing KCSE. I remember I had like I've had like a whole month of headaches. Like every day, like the pain is not disappearing. And so I knew I'm almost close to being cleared, possibly. And then for the first time in 10 years, I have symptoms that look worse. So I felt like, oh Jesus, another 10 years. Like, please don't tell me this disease is here. That was a hard one. It made me live in fear for a whole year because I knew I would go for the checkup in 1 year. So when we got there, I was afraid the doctor would say, "Have you been sick? Like, have you been sick for the last 1 year? Because I'm seeing something." And good thing she didn't see anything. I got cleared.
You got cleared.
Yeah, I got cleared.
I'm sure you're so happy.
Yeah, I was just like, "Papa, I'll never see you again for the next, I don't know." So that was one happy moment.
Yeah, but then I mean, throughout all this that was going on, you still mentioned in your letter that it was sort of, I don't know if blessing is the right word to even use, but some good came out of it.
Yeah.
Why do you say so?
Why did I say there's good things that came out of it? If this is how I look at it, I was one of the brightest when I was like young. Then I started making school exams, because I was being taken to the hospital, and then my grades started to drop a bit. And then I moved school, and then I wasn't like the number one, so I wasn't getting like, I was still a good student, but I wasn't the best. I was the best somehow at the beginning. Like in the middle school, like class 6, 7, I started dropping kidogo. Then went to high school, so I didn't do so well KCP. Then to high school, the thing. But if you think about it, if it wasn't for that, that meant that I would, if I was still the brightest student around, I would definitely be in an area that I didn't like. I would be like an engineer. I'm not that engineering with my heart. I would be
seated here with the engineering degree, don't you?
Yeah, so I would end up doing things that I wouldn't, make me.
Yeah.
So the fact that it came, especially with my grades, it affected my grades in a positive way. Some people say it affected my grades in a negative way. No, it did good for me because I ended up doing, like, I did communications and public relations, which was nice for me, got me here. So that part where it did me really well. Also, while people, sometimes I think about it and say it matured me, I grew up too fast. But then again, growing up too fast and feeling 50 when you're 8 kind of just was a good thing for me. because when I was out of school, I started thinking about my future. I was like 16, 17 years old, but I'm not thinking like a 17-year-old. I'm thinking, okay, well, I was 10 years old. I was a typical teenager, but in my head, I'm not a teenager because I'm already like 10 years ahead. So it got me here today. So at a young age, so I think that was the positive. I don't want to look at the bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always look at the positive. Yeah.
That's actually an interesting perspective, especially like with the school part.
Yeah.
And you also say that you reassure younger Moses that you know you're stronger than you think you are. So how did this trend show itself when you were 8 years old, and what did it play like with the person you are today?
I never cried through those injection. I should have. Not thinking about it. I should have like cried my whole heart out. People say you should cry, and the child cry. I didn't cry. But I think about it. I'm like that kind of just holding on to whatever little I had and the bit of hope that I had that I would get cleared. That gave me strength every time. I've told you I was the one reminding my dad, like, it's time to go.
Yeah.
It's 15. It's too late. I need that injection. It kind of gave me strength, like, to keep going and going and going and going and going. I found strength in the hope that as I keep doing this, it's going to one day clear me out of this condition. And also I got strength in a lot of faith because I remember there was this American, I remember it was an American pastor or something. So I wasn't so religious back then. So there was this pastor who was doing like a little crusade or something. So I just got in from the injection with my mom. Then the pastor was there. It's like I'm like missionary, I think. So this pastor was praying for people. So I just went there. And I think that was some significant moment. So he was like laying hands on people and praying for people. And then he was like, if you're sick, just believe that you're healed and you'll be healed. And I remember like opening my eyes and looking at my mom, like if I believe I'll actually be healed. Listen, man, like some people throw away faith. It doesn't matter who's praying for you, but it actually, if you believe. So when I did that, I was like, you know what, from today henceforth, I don't care about these injections. I'm still going to do them, but I believe that my heart is like clean. That gave me strength to actually do. I still remember that, but I don't even know his name. I was young, but until today, I remember that was the point where I believed that I was well. I still did the injections though. Some people do so much faith and forget the little that they have to do. I still did the injections, but I was cleared. So that gave me strength, the faith that I had that I will clean. That couldn't. I always say I can't see my heart. It's not like a wound on your. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't feel it because I'm not sick. I'm only being told. So I'd rather, if I can't see it, I just rather believe it that I'm clean. So that gave me a lot of strength. Yeah.
Well, let's fast forward like years later, where you miss the puzzle piece, the missing puzzle piece in your life. And it must be very important because she even featured, as you were introducing yourself.
Yeah.
So tell us about you guys, how you met. I'm a sucker for a good love story. How you met and what impact she's had in your life.
Okay. Yeah, this is the first time I'm in a podcasting. I try to keep my but yeah, I think the fact that we're able to do life together and also do this thing together, run the company together, I think that's so significant to me. We had met in the course of, as I've told you, getting sick was a blessing to me because through that I was able to, I have a lot of mental health issues after I was cleared. And then at some point is when I started a podcast. I was doing well. I was now studying psychology, and in the course of that, out of my mental health struggles that had been caused by having been cleared from the hospital, kind of led us to meeting together. And then we had similar interests in psychology and helping people. And yeah, it felt like a perfect match. After I felt like, oh, wow, I have somebody who can take me for who I am, validated everything. That's a good thing about marrying a therapist. You get free therapy. You get free therapy. My therapist hasn't been mean at all. I really feel for my therapist. So yeah, there was that perfect match. I think for men, when you meet somebody and you feel good, that's it. Like it's like okay, now that's it for art. And it be for you ladies too. So long as you meet somebody and you feel this there's just peace, there's no chaos. Um you might have experienced a lot of chaos with dating and life in general. And then you meet this person who's just a spark and you feel okay, you feel so settled. And that's how you know this is the right person for me. And then there's purpose together. And if you're able to do day-to-day activities together, and then have like you're aligned in the same journey. That was so important to me. And also the faith that I have. If you're able to align in like 8 out of the 10 things that you're looking for, then and that's it. There's no like corner.
Yeah. What impact would you say she's had in your life?
Peace.
Mostly peace.
Listen, man. When mentally you're at rest, you're able to do anything. When there's chaos mentally caused by what's in the environment, it's not easy to be able to achieve a lot. So when you're able to get that, you're able to grow physically, mentally, your business, because you're in an environment that, like you're being provided an environment to thrive. When you're in a relationship with somebody and they're giving you that environment like to be you, and also pushes you to achieve the things that you want to achieve, and that's the best thing ever. So if that person isn't, then there'll be a lot of chaos because you'll feel stagnant, like going backwards. So for me, I haven't felt that. And when you're with somebody for a long time and you feel, okay, today I was here, step 1, tomorrow I'm step 2.
Yeah.
The other day I'm step 3, step 4, step 5. Then that's the best thing ever for anyway. It's not about men, it's even ladies. So long as you're like making progress with somebody, you're matching, you're relating well, for me, that's the best thing that she's offered for me. Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your writing and how you got into it, some of the books you've written.
Okay. So I started writing when I was in class 4. Funny thing, my Swahili is not so good, but the first thing I ever wrote was a Swahili. You remember Insha? Insha, yes. I wrote Ndoto ya Ajabu. Yeah, it was crazy. So it was really Ndoto ya Ajabu.
What was in the Ndoto?
So I think it's how I described it. I described the dream. So it's funny. I was on the side of a cake, and then there was this cheetah which was flying. Like it was a flying cheetah with a wing, and then it was running after me. So I was just describing how crazy it was.
Yeah.
And the teacher was like, "Well, is this real like something?" So I got 38 out of 40. Everybody was getting like 7 out of 40. I was getting 38.
That was at like class 4.
Yeah, I was at class 4. And funny thing, my Swahili is not so good. But then when I transitioned up to composition, I was always like doing really well with English. My grades always be pumped up with English. Like I got to fail and everything else, but English would always like balance the books for me. So but I was always like the best in composition and stuff in primary school and high school. I wrote my first novel when I was in high school, and then some idiot just burned the book down. I was writing on a pen, and then they were doing like trash burning, and then they burnt it. Then yeah, that's been it. Been in radios, writing a lot. But now is when I'm doing more. Now that like I'm more settled, is when I'm doing. I have 2 short stories that I'm releasing soon. By the time that I think it should be out. Also, I'm working on my first novel. So I'm doing a lot. I'm doing short stories. I'm also doing a lot of trying to do a novel and also write for our website for the company. So on mental health and psychology stuff. So that's how I keep writing. But personally, the short stories that I've done. And now there's that novel, which is hopefully.
Yeah. I'm not much of a reader, but when yours come out, I'm going to make a point.
Oh my God.
Because I need to see, the progress from Ndoto ya Ajabu.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Might you still have it?
Listen, I still think I have the dream in my head, unless I rewrite it afresh. But I don't think I'll like nail it.
Yeah,
because it was funny. It was the first. You remember? I think I don't know how the system has changed, but I remember our time. Class 4 is when you did your first insha. So the first insha composition I wrote, the first one was write and Ndoto ya Ajabu. Like, I don't know why they were giving other 7. Like, it's my dream. Why would you give 5 out of 10? So So for me, I got 38 out of 40, and the teacher called good. Like, I know this is scary. Like you for sure I'm on the movie now, and I was like, I just came out up with it. And unless I come up with like a fantasy about it, that would be nice.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
What legacy would you want to leave behind with your writing? What did you want us to remember you by?
So I try with with the podcast that I had, the creative one that I do, I try to bring everything to the lens of psychology and mental health. So I try to even though there's fictional work, there's fantasy work, even with the website, the shows that we do, even when I was on radio, I tried to put everything together for somebody to see even the character, everything else to have like a lens of psychology. It's easy to do something that is just entertaining, but also educating is very important. So the education part for me is something that I don't want to ever, because I work in psychology, work with therapists, psychiatrists. So I want the information that I have in the field that I'm in to also be portrayed even through entertainment, because with the world that we're living in, like you do content on wellness like that. So, and you have like a lens of, wellness and stuff. So I want to bring that out in writing where, once you say the book is over, it's not just the book is over. It's okay. I think that there's some bit of things that I'm learning on wellness, psychology. Because there's a lot of things. I was just looking around here, and a lot of psychology don't share information that they have learned in 4 years in school that would be so important for people on addiction, on mental disorder. There's still a lot of misinformation on things to do with mental health. So if I'm able to do it in an entertaining way, even through writing, through the character, I think that will be the legacy I want.
And as you're winding up your letter, you say, the stars will always shine, through the trials and through the triumphs. What do you mean by that?
I think I got that from through the book. If you go through challenges, whatever challenges you go through, when you wake up in the morning and you go to sleep, one thing that will always be the same, the stars will always keep shining. The sun will always keep just being the sun. There are things in life that won't change, and then you can look at those things and say, you know what, these things won't ever change, which means life will keep going on and on and on, and it will still, the world will still be rotating. There are things that will remain constant. So you want to I wanted that little guy to know that whatever you go through, there are things that will never change. So it means that you'll still keep going. Like you can be like the sun or the star. It just keep shining. Yeah, it keeps shining. Like even when the weather changes, there's rain today, there's sunny tomorrow. Like we still keep going. We still keep going, and the stars will always keep shining. So you can always keep shining like the stars every day. Even when they're covered by the cloud, they still keep shining. They never stop shining. And so you can always keep shining yourself despite the challenges that you go through.
Yeah. And when you think of 8-year-old Moses looking like at your life right now, what do you think he'd be most shocked about?
That I got married. That I'd be shocked that, wow, I'd not be shocked with where I am in life because I was always a dreamer. So I wouldn't be shocked. I would just be shocked that I got married. I wouldn't be shocked. The 8-year-old me would be shocked that I got this tall. I was one of the shortest people in school. And I got like almost 6 foot tall. I'd be shocked that that's a tough one. That I didn't get the good grades that I thought I would because there was a disease that came and affected everything. So now they're not like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a lawyer. I'm gonna be this and that. I was even thinking like the grades that I would get shock on me though. But I would be surprised that I didn't become the corporate whatever that I thought I would ever be. But I would have done better. But I would be just fine the way I am. So that would be a shocker for me. Yeah.
What would you want our listeners to take away from your letter?
Take from my letter that there's always things that will affect your day-to-day life. When you wake up in the morning and go to sleep, 24 hours change a lot. In 24 hours, a lot of people have died. In 24 hours, a lot of people have been born. In 24 hours, a lot of people have been employed, others fired. In 24 hours, so many things have changed. In my life, it's like a whole 10 plus years to where I am today. There's a lot that has changed in between those years.
Yeah.
But one thing is, I'm here, I'm still here, still going. So I would want everybody to know that life, life's like the wind that blows, it's like the sea, blows east, west. There's always times, winds, and all of that. But when you have like a core faith or thing that you believe in or the dreams that you have, no matter how they come, you can still keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you'll slow down, so slow. Sometimes you'll stop, but the star will still keep shining wherever it is. So that's something that I would want people to know. There's people whose dreams have been delayed for 10 years, and that they've lost the urge to want to achieve those dreams. There's people who've been delayed for 20 years, but they still had that dream and they still kept fighting for it. So my thing with the letter is, things will always change, even from the psychological point of view. The therapist will always tell you there's no way you can control things on the outside, but you can control things on the inside, how they affect you. So for me, you've seen like how they affected me is what matters than those things and how they were. Yeah.
Like I said, I've read a lot of letters, and a lot of them will end, like with regards or I love you. And yours is the first one that, has ended with from my heart.
Yeah.
Which is very cutesy.
Yeah, from my heart
Right?
that I haven't seen how it's doing for a long time. Me, it's always rhetorical. Like my heart, I mean, like anybody's close to me, I mean, like
Your actual heart.
the mix of both. Like my heart, which had to be repaired for years, and then like that. Yeah.
So we're going to reach back into the same heart,
Okay.
and we're going to leave a message for Moses 10 years from now.
Okay.
So you wrote a letter to 8-year-old Moses.
Yeah.
Now I'd like
10 years from now.
Yeah. You can take a moment, think about what you'd like to tell yourself in 10 years, and then when you're ready, that's your camera.
10 years from now, more of this, the stars will still keep shining, the winds will still keep blowing, and hopefully you won't be more than 6 foot tall, and hopefully you'll still be married and life will have really been so well for you. Again, the winds will keep blowing, and however they blow, you'll still be the same, and they'll still keep growing and growing. And 10 years from now, so I'm saying this as I watch the channel 10 years from now, I hope you look better than you are, and I hope you're still smiling, because there'll be a lot of challenges in 10 years, but the fact that you're here 10 years later means that you've made it. I'm proud of you.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
And also one thing that I've really picked up, your wife is very loud. Like she's featured from the beginning all the way to the letter to your future self.
Yeah.
So pass our greetings from the podcast.
Yeah, I will. Oh my God, I will.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
It was lovely having you here.
Me too. Yeah.
And for the guys at home, make sure you check out the description box. We'll have links to BNM Safezone, and I will see you guys in the next one.